Hello everyone, to all our wonderful subscribers. We say thank you so much for staying with us. And to if you're new here, we are happy to find us. Please don't forget to like our videos, love our videos, and share our videos. And do not forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell for more upcoming videos. And in the comment section, please note the regressive comments, please. Thank you. To see you in our next video. Stay blessed.
About family issue. GTX company ni àbí kí náà broker ara wọn. Gvest investment. Àwọn ní property sọnù. So I welcome you guys. And I say good afternoon to you. How are you guys doing? Ṣàlàáfíà la wà. All right. Welcome and thanks for joining me. I remain your host, Auntie Aduni. So, as we all know, as at yesterday, the news broke out, but because we had so many things to deal with, I couldn't talk on this particular issue. The news broke out that Osinach's husband, Peter, was sentenced to die by hanging. We don't know if it is signed already, but I'm not sure. It takes time for them to sign it. But obviously, he is presently, as we are talking, in prison. Definitely. This was him yesterday in the courts. So, during the court issue, like we all know, we should not forget how the story started. Osinach was a gospel artist who sings very well, and his song Ekweme was one of his very popular songs. While singing that song, Osinach will be crying while she's singing that song with all passion, and people thought she was moving in the spirit. I'm sure many people, anytime she will be singing that song too, will be crying along, thinking it was the spirit that is moving, not knowing Osinach was passing through so much in a matrimonial home by the husband and the father of her children. Not only her, even the children were passing through so much in the hands of their father. Osinach did not only pass through abuse in the home, she also passed through humiliation in the hands of the husband, according to what was obtained later on social media. I said according to, by the husband, public humiliation, where it was said that even in the presence of public, the guy will humiliate her, speak derogatory words, and say different kind of a thing in the presence of her worker and her children. These are all the things she passed through. We woke up to the sad news 2 years ago. I think precisely, was in November or when? The abuse she went through was for so long. She was even, the guy even, made her not to be isolated her from the family. According to the mother, she was prevented from seeing them while going through all this. The mother said she did not even see Osinach for close to 8 years after her marriage. That those are the things she went through. You see, when people meet this kind of people, some people call them narcissists. I will call them wicked people. Once you get married to somebody or you are in relationship with somebody and they make you see everyone around you as a bad person, at that point, you should know you are in danger. or to isolate you. It's always for a reason. It's for them to have control. Not only was this man controlling Osinach in every way, he was even controlling her finances according to what was said when Osinach passed away. At a point, there was a particular pastor, one Victor Ativie, recounted that there was a time where Peter Nwachukwu, the husband, if the payment that was sent to Osinach for a church performance, you know, the guy took control of everything about her. Controlling everything. You know, and she kept quiet. Osinach kept quiet, managing, hiding everything. And I believe, you know why I believe? That, you know, for the first time, I agree with, I'm going to play this man's video. When that incident happened, Eneche. For the first time, I agree with Pastor Eneche. And I believe he was saying the truth. Since I started talking about this domestic violence thing, I have spoken to a lot of victims. And honestly, most of them hide what they are going through from people for so many reasons. Fear is one of it. Fear of losing their home, their marriage, fear of the future, fear of where they are going to start from, then finances, then shame is one of the major reasons why victims hide what they are going through from people. So Osinach, especially as somebody who is a church person, as somebody that was a church person, with the kind of preaching they hear in the church, I'm sure was one of the reasons. And nobody should blame it on the pastor. You know why? Now I know better. Even though as at that time, we were questioning the pastor, say that, are they saying they did not know this lady was passing through what she was passing through? It is when people speak out that you can know what they are going through. You see, most of these victims, some of them disguise. There was a video we did of recent that somebody said a woman, after they beat her, she will use foundation and everything to cover her bruises before she comes out. So you will not know that she went through abuse. Osinach was this, while her own, she was hiding her own in a spiritual way. That's the only best way I can put it. In her song. The song were heart-tearing if you listen to some of her songs. Heart-wrenching. But people thought she was in the spirit. And like I always say, most women that you think are in the spirit when they are singing or they are in the church, they are going through emotional issue. No spirit is moving anybody. It's what they are going through. Let us listen to what Pastor Eneche said during that incident. Then we quickly analyze and we move on. As it is, the man has been sentenced to die by hanging, unfortunately. And I see some people asking and saying, what will happen to their children? We will get to that. Let's listen to Pastor Eneche first.
Of the passing of our beloved sister, Osinach Nwachukwu, who is a kingdom asset and a generational asset to this generation. In the light of so much misinformation, in the light of so much misconstruction of events, I decided to set straight what I know concerning the situation. Over 2.5 months to 3 months ago, she came to see me with her husband with complaints of chest pain, respiratory distress. I prayed for her and prayed again. And when the symptoms did not abate, I counseled that they go to the hospital to help us to know exactly what we were dealing with. And they asked if I could assist, help them facilitate that process. I called our head of medical team, Dr. Sang, who is consultant pediatrician with the Federal Medical Center, Kesley. to assist handle their situation. And he called the Federal Medical Center and he called colleagues there where they attended to them. On seeing her, they ordered some investigations after examination, and that included CT scan, computerized axial tomography scan. That was done, and from what the doctors saw, they felt that there was need for further investigation, either at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital or the National Hospital in Abuja. I called the doctor, consultant pulmonologist, respiratory physician at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Dr. Akko Alexander, told him the situation, and he asked that they come to see him immediately. And they went to the Gwagwalada Teaching Hospital. After they had examined her there and saw the situation, they felt that there was a need for histology and biopsy of the lung tissue, and they
InDrive. Choose a fair price for your ride.
and they asked that she go to the National Hospital to get that done. I again called the Dr. Jibrin, who is head of pathology and consultant histopathologist of the National Hospital in Abuja, and reported the issue to him and to help us go ahead with the investigations and find out what exactly happened. I am calling names and calling places because the people that are available are live and they are all verifiable. And then they continued the management. The histology was done. From what I saw at that time, the picture was much milder than what the CT scan earlier on showed. And so we felt very happy that at least there was relief. She called me daily, literally daily, and prayed with her. She reported progress. The point came where she didn't know oxygen anymore, according to what she said to me one night, and that they checked her oxygen perfusion, and it was 100%. And we were very, very excited at that progress. That was the point it was before we went over to the crusade in Cameroon. It was in Cameroon the second night that I got to know of the unfortunate incident of her passing. Now, if there was domestic violence that led to or coincided with those symptoms that she came with 2.5 months to 3 months ago, there is no way I would know. And if there had been perennial domestic violence, there was no way I would have known. The things we're hearing after her passing were things that were very, very strange to my hearing. Then I began to ask questions. First, I asked the twin sister, are you aware that your sister, were you aware that your sister passed through all these things? She said, yes, she knew some of them, but that the majority of them, she was hearing also from those she confided in. I asked her, I said, if you knew, why didn't you let us know? And the twin sister said, she always begged her, please don't let the church know, don't tell the pastor, please, the man will change, please, just pray for us, the man will change. And that continued to happen. I asked the first son yesterday, I said, was this real? And the son told other stories. And I said, so why didn't you tell me? Because typically they will run to me after service and I'll pray for them, lay hands on them. Why didn't you tell me about what was going on in the home? And the young man said, they couldn't tell me because the father would always ask them after they left me and said, what did you tell the pastor? Did you tell him anything? And so on and so forth. For the other members in the choir who were privy to this, some of the things that were going on, I asked one of them when we paid the visit to the house of the deceased yesterday, what happened? Why were we not aware of all these things? The same story, that she would always go on her knees and ask them, please, don't, just pray, don't, but trusting God for him to change. The last one that taught me so much was a music producer who came to see me in the office 2 days ago to tell me his own experience, how he witnessed that the man slapped the wife in his music studio. And I said to him, you saw a man slap a woman in your presence and you left the man alone and you are a man yourself. And he said before he could respond to the man, the woman again in tears on her knees begged him not to do anything, to leave him alone, and not even to do anything at all, and so on and so forth. So we have had these stories, and this is all the things that we got to know after she had passed. As a person and as a church, everyone who knows us know that we have 0-degree tolerance for domestic abuse and wife battery of any sort. If you ever listen to any of our relationship messages, there is a principle, a policy, and a rule we have. And that is, it is better to be alive without a marriage than to die because of marriage. We've said that over and over and over. I am sure that some of us would have listened to the clips of those.
All right, that is the video where Osinach tried to exonerate himself and his church because she was part of the church. There, I remember I did a series on this video and I asked some questions that if this lady is so close to the pastor supposed to know something is wrong with her. Number one. Number two, now me personally, have to deal with people with domestic violence, talk to them and having conversation with some of them, I will tell you that some of them is very, very tough to rescue them. You know why? If you are drowning, I see you in water drowning, and I see that I say, are you drowning? And I want to rescue you. Okay? And you tell me, no, I'm not drowning. I am just playing with the water. Honestly, there is little I can do. I don't know. He never mentioned if he saw any sign. According to him, he said he never saw any sign. But I feel probably he was too busy because the signs will always be there. He was too busy to recognize the sign. Probably all he was interested in is that woman should just sing and go. There is nobody going through domestic violence that you will see that you will not know. Except they tell you, don't worry, I am fine. Then at that time, you might not be able to do much. Because even here, if somebody call police and say, I'm going through this, and the police should come, the woman tells them, don't worry, we'll fine. It's just a misunderstanding between couples, and she doesn't allow them in. Of course, if she allows them in, they see mark on her body, that is a sign for them to act on. But if there is no sign, visible sign, for them to see, then they will turn away and go. Okay? So, he might not truly be totally aware. He might just be suspect. That probably she's going through something. But as a pastor, it is expected he called her then and try and, find out, have a father, I will call father even though not father, but call her as a father and talk to her. Are you sure something is not wrong with you? You don't look happy. I see you withdrawn. But hey, unfortunately, the deed is done. Then another thing I faulted, I don't really fault him so much, but another thing I'm faulting with him is when she came that she was having chest pain, he said the first thing was to pray. Chest pain is a sign that somebody is going through something medically, emotionally, and psychologically. Chest pain is a sign, I repeat, in my own little knowledge, that somebody is going through something health-wise, emotionally, or psychologically. You understand? So for somebody to come and complain about chest to you, and you have always seen her at a point being withdrawn and all that, is a sign that something is going on with her. So he said he prayed along with her and sent her to go. Anyway, she left. And the rest, they say, is story. And of course, it is still the same chest that pied the lady. Because according to people who gave testimonies in the courts, from the children to the family member to associates, our personal assistant, one Adetunju Moses, and one of our workers, Blessing Yamabi, they all confirm and testify that the husband is always subjecting her to serious physical and frequent physical abuse, like kicking her in the chest anytime he's trying to beat her. And I think probably that was what, blood or something clotted on her chest and all that. And the rest, they say it is story. Now, it is being said that the husband has been sentenced. Apart from even abusing Osinach, It was also testified and confirmed by the children that their father is always abusing them too. That the father sometimes will even tell the children, it was alleged, I will use that word alleged, even tell the children to participate in beating Osinach while she was alive. They said he even recorded some of those incidents in his phone. Don't forget, he recorded them, to show how cruel the man is, to show how controlling, how wicked and destructive somebody can be to control somebody. If you have not gone through some abuses or you have not seen people go through abuse, you may think some things are they really possible until you see and you see first-hand victims. Then you will know there are even worse cases than Osinach's case. Many have led to pie, many are still living, many are living with the trauma, many are living with the pains, okay, and the whatever that comes after it. Children have been traumatized for life, experiencing all this kind of a thing. And I think even Osinach's children are traumatized in this case. So, and one of the problem of all this thing comes from, number one, the shame that the public put on single parents, single mothers. And we cannot continue to deceive ourselves by shying away from what is going on with people in marriages, all because I have to stay married, or because we don't want single mothers, too many single mothers. Is it that we don't want them alive, or we want them alive? Which one is more important? They being alive and single, or they being pie and their children left to fend for themselves in this harsh world? We have to choose one. Now, number one, we have to stop this shaming of single mothers. Seriously, we have to really stop it. It doesn't matter how they found themselves there and all that. Okay, let's stop shaming them because we don't know their stories. Some will just come. We don't know what got them there. We don't know how they got there. Talking about and having discussions with them has made me to be very empathetic with them, that